With week 1 of the Modern Warfare 2 beta coming to an end, I was sent the Reddit post and someone asked me to read it. And with my first few reads of it, I thought that it would be good enough to make a video on this because a lot of the points that he was making sound very, very good. And I also will have the Reddit link down below in the description. There's a lot wrong with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 right now, and I think that this Reddit post could actually save the game. So sit back, enjoy the video, hit that like button, and let's get into these points. The first thing that he pointed out is time to kill. TTK is generally regarded as too fast and inconsistent across engagements. Players often notice discrepancies in when they appear and the enemy in the kill cam versus how they perceive their own visibility during the gunfight. This is especially noticeable in engagements where a player has just turned a corner or appeared over or around the corner. To accommodate players that feel the TTK is acceptable in its current state, one idea is to offer unique quick play filters for fast TTK and slow TTK. I really do like that. There were 2 separate playlists. Actually, I don't think we need 2 separate playlists. We have that already. We have hardcore and we have normal. The normal playlist should have a decent time to kill to where I don't feel like I'm getting deleted and killed in one bullet. There have been clips where somebody has died in 10 frames in the gameplay and it's just way too fast. Dying in 10 frames is literally hardcore. If you want people to have a fast time to kill, if you want them to play slower, if you want them to not really be moving around the map, trust me, those players will play hardcore. The second point that he has is Minimap. Minimap not showing up suppressed fire aims to keep players focused on gameplay rather than the corner of their screen. While being an understandable philosophy, the lack of additional awareness makes player more passive and timid, especially when pursuing streaks. At minimum, making an equivalent to Vanguard's radar perk would alleviate some frustrations. Moreover, completely reverting back to the classic minimap will allow all players to transverse with more confidence. Those who wish to stay off the minimap can equip a silencer or ghost perk, which is very, very true. If you are shooting a gun that is not suppressed, you came up on the minimap. And I believe I read something that they said they didn't want those players to be hunted, and I don't understand that, because if you don't want to be hunted, you will use things to not be hunted. Put a suppressor on your gun, run ghost, run things that allow you not to be on the minimap. Since the beginning of COD, the minimap has worked that if you don't have a silenced gun, you show up on the minimap, and I don't think that should change. If that's not what you want, then hey, put on a suppressor, put on ghost, and you will be fine. Next thing on the list is ghost. Ghost is a divisive perk. Some players like his presence as an ultimate perk, requiring it to be earned versus given. This discourages passive play in the early game. Other feels that the perk taking 8 minutes to earn allows teams to gain an advantage by perpetually calling UAVs, specifically in the early game. The added awareness given by this low tier streak results in a snowball of UAV spam, thus putting the receiving team at a disadvantage until Ghost comes into play. Consider moving Ghost to a base perk selection or reverting the traditional perk system. Also consider modifying the perk to only function when players are moving to discourage camping. I do think that Ghost should be and always should be only working when you're moving. If you are sitting in a corner, if you are not moving, Ghost should not work. I don't think that is a thing. Ghost having to be earned is kind of weird. We will have to see how they continue to do this new perk system in the future. A lot of aggressive people like to use perk. I know Strafe does, and I love Ghost as well. If I'm playing search and destroy and I'm trying to move around the map and my team is just handing them UAVs, I don't want to be punished and be seen on the map, especially if I'm dying at like huge rates. Like it all makes sense. So I think that this is a very good point. The next one on the list is dead silence. Dead silence has traditionally proven an extra layer of concealment for players looking to play aggressively, especially when chasing streaks or playing the objective. With footsteps being generally loud, players are able to acquire or hunt others sprinting in proximity. To prevent audio cues from encouraging overly passive playstyles, considering offering dead silence both as a field upgrade and a base perk. Call of Duty was founded on maximizing player choice. Those who want constant protection from being heard can run dead silence perk. Others can benefit in a short burst as a field upgrade while freeing up a perk slot. I think that is really a good idea. This Reddit is really good. That's why I kind of wanted to make a video on it and try to get this out to as many people as possible, because we need good changes in Modern Warfare 2. We need this game to be good, bro. Or Warzone Modern Warfare, it will die. We have this game for the next 2 years, and if we don't enjoy it, like, what are we going to play as the Call of Duty community? nothing. And that's why stuff like this is really important. Good criticism that is coming from a good heart who actually want to see the game improve. Very, very good. But to talk about dead silence, I completely agree. Dead silence has always been a perk for a pretty long time. I remember running Ninja in the original MW2, so I feel like dead silence can be a perk and a field upgrade. Giving the players the option to choose is what we need. I don't understand how we keep moving further into these games and our customization has gone down and down and down. That does not make sense to me. But making dead silence a field upgrade and a perk, it can add to your customization options and you can play however way you want to play, and I think that is really, really good. The next thing on the list is new perk system. It is an interesting evolution of the classic pick 3 system, now allowing players to equip 4 perks, 2 of which are acquired over the course of the match. This requires more powerful awareness concealment perks such as Ghost and High Alert to be earned rather than given, along with adding another aspect of progression on a per match basis. While some players like the new system for the aforementioned reasons, a vocal subset of the community are opposed to it. Reverting to the traditional perk system may be a safer option to appeal to the broader player base and provide a more traditional customization experience. I think the new perk system is kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. I really think that maybe it should be 3 perks and you can earn an extra perk in the game, or you could just give us the traditional perk system but make sure that we do have specialists. Specialists has always been really, really cool since Modern Warfare 3 to be able to unlock 3 extra perks and potentially have every single perk if you go on a 7 or 8 or more kill streak was a really, really good thing. Specialist is not a bad thing to have in Call of Duty games, and if they don't keep the same exact perk system, then if they weren't looking to put specialists in the game, then they should definitely add it before the full release of the game. Next thing we have is player visibility. Player visibility can be improved by reducing effects involving recoil, muzzle flash, and smoke. Current iterations of the aspect listed above greatly restrict visibility in combat, especially at range. Toning back these effects will help ensure gunfights are fair and consistent across all lighting conditions and environment. Bring back traditional red nameplates is also crucial to helping distinguish between teammates and enemies. I completely agree with the red traditional nameplates, but I don't think that we need to tone down recoil. I think the recoil should not be visual. So if you have actual recoil where the gun kicks up in a specific pattern, that is really, really good. But visual recoil only is clutter. So I feel like, yes, visual recoil, muzzle flash, and smoke, all 3 of those things should definitely be toned down. But I think we need more recoil in more Call of Duty games. Next thing is player mobility. Player mobility could use some work. Sprints and fire speeds are generally slow, seemingly more so than the TTK itself in most encounters. To give players a fighting chance against other pre-aiming and anticipation, sprint and ADS should be accelerated with less of a penalty on recoil / stability while using attachments that increase handling. Franchise was built upon guns up philosophy and arcade pacing. Enabling players to engage in gunfights quicker after sprinting would help to even the playing field between rushers and sentinels. Additionally, players have reported moving as feeling clunky, which is hard to elaborate, but reassessing the smoothness and transition between sliding and sprinting and slightly increasing base sprint speed might help ease these frustrations. Honestly, I think that's a fact. If you're not going to give us slide canceling, which we'll talk about later in this video, the speed that you're moving and the way the slide is should be way smoother and way better, because then it does allow for the gameplay to be fast paced and fun. If the time to kill is fast, the sprint to fire speed should be fast on most weapons as well, especially guns that it makes sense on, like MP5s and SMGs and things like that. But you should also be able to make your ARs with fast sprint to fire speed as well. We don't want to play a clunky shooter. It's not like, that's not fun. We don't want to play Tarkov. The mobility could use some reworking from what I've seen in the beta so far, so hopefully that is an easy change that they can make. And that is one thing that I really do like about most of the things on this list. All of these things are really easy changes just that they could make within the month that we have left until the full release of the game. I don't think that they need to postpone the release of this game, but just these few changes that we went over already can be fixed, I feel like, within a week, and it could give us a way better player experience. The next thing on our list is reload canceling. Reload canceling is a traditional habit for many players. Out of an abundance of caution, many have been conditioned to reload after using only a small portion of their mag. The uploaded reload mechanic does have its moments. Accidentally sprinting during a reload with a low/empty mag no longer commits players to repeating an entire reload animation. For the sake of the consistency and choice, an option to toggle between traditional and staged reloading would restore player choice to reload cancel or pick up where where they left off. I think that reload canceling can be an advantage, and the customization to allow you to have normal reload canceling and a stage reload are the keys to allowing players to really have what they want. We are used to being able to cancel or reload. You start reloading, somebody gets in front of you, you YY, and now you don't have that reload animation anymore. So yeah, I think just the customization to be able to choose if you want to reload cancel or not would be very beneficial to this game. The next thing is slide canceling. Slide canceling is huge. Everybody's been talking about it, so I think this will be good. Despite intentions to it to be removed, has returned through user workarounds. While adding a layer of skill from the perspective of some players, it can also provide an unfair advantage. The new button combo to slide cancel is not easily executed on controllers without paddles or external accessories. To avoid giving access to a mechanic that negatively impacts hit detection and aim assist, slide cancel needs to be either completely removed or streamlined to be accessible to all players. This is the most divisive topic on this post, and further discussion within Fluorsta's community is required prior to launch. I don't think slide canceling is bad, but I don't want slide canceling in Modern Warfare 2, and here's why. If you give Modern Warfare 2 slide canceling, the game is basically Modern Warfare 2019.5. You don't need slide canceling. Now, what we do need is an effective slide that is fast, it's speedy, and you're able to use it to chow people. So let's say you're running around a corner right now in Modern Warfare 2 at this point in time. If you slide around a corner, you're like stuck in sand. You're stuck in quicksand, and you're just probably gonna lose the gunfight. But if the slide was sped up, it was way smoother, and the animation wasn't as clunky as it is now, then I don't feel like that we would even actually need slide canceling. Slide canceling, like I said, is not bad. I don't want it in this game, so we just need to make the slide better than it is now. Next thing on our list is disbanding lobbies, and this is something that I think is bad all around. I never liked disbanding lobbies, so let's see what he had to say about it in the Reddit post. Disbanding lobbies are detrimental to social experiences and ecosystem. Without a player discourse and teams carrying between matches, it is impossible to form camaraderies and rivalries amongst parties and individual opponents. Keeping with the theme of player choice, reinstating perpetual lobbies will encourage players to form new social connections and improve skill to outperform one another. Rematch in private games, engage with clans, and so forth. Not to mention player banter and epic plays make for great videos and social media content. That is so freaking true. There has been many times in older Call of Duties that I can remember where you get into a lobby and the people on the other team are talking crazy and they win the first game, and then you come back and then you win the next two, and now it's a rivalry. That is what made COD so fun. I highly doubt that they changed disbanding lobbies, but bro, holy, it would be so fire for them to listen to us this one time, bro. Just listen to us on this. Just to let us stay in those lobbies. Let's say me as a streamer, let's say I get matched up against Blue, or I get matched up against Strafe, or I get matched up against anybody who's one of my friends, and we ended up on the opposite team 3 games in a row, best out of 3 series, and we're just like, bet. And it's fun. Like, it could be a fun competition. I don't understand. I never understood disbanding lobbies. I never thought that it was fun. Matchmaking takes longer. Like, now after every game, I'm just sitting in a lobby waiting to get, like, just let us get right back into that lobby and play the same people, because you never know. I met some pretty nice people in lobbies that way, you know? So I think that disbanding lobbies is an L, and it should be taken out of the game for sure. Next thing is combat pacing. Combat pacing, introduced in Vanguard, allow players to choose the scale and pace where they engage in various modes, offering 10v10 and 12v12 and other configurations via a toggle in the quick play menu would allow players to experience the flow they desire, especially on larger maps. Need to ensure that the chosen pace is honored across several matches, not just the initial queue. Agreed wholeheartedly. That one thing is the only thing I feel like Vanguard did well. But combat pacing was actually fun. Let's say I wanted to get some camo challenges done. I can go into the extreme, I forget the name of the playlist, but I can get into the extreme playlist, and every single map is clustered with people, but I'm getting more kills. Like, combat pacing was actually a really good thing, and if they were to bring that back, I don't think anyone would be mad at that, because that was actually a very good thing that Vanguard brought to the table. The next thing we have is deaths on the scoreboard. Deaths on the scoreboard are just as important as an indicator of a player performance as skill and objective play. Beyond acting as an indicator of individual performance, low death counts can be used to identify enemies that may be on the verge of earning a high tier streak and need to be hunted down. Omitting deaths was supposedly done to reduce instances of player ridiculing one another for dying too often, costing or hindering team success. While this certainly does happen, there are plenty of systems in place to avoid conflict. Make the scoreboard as detailed as possible. Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes it's for me as well. Sometimes I may not be playing well and I need a, hey, you're 10-5, get it together, and that's how I play. But also, I don't think it's a bad thing to have to hold your teammates accountable and to actually be able to be like, oh my god, there's somebody on the other team who is 10-2. We need to kill him before he gets a chopper gunner. We need to kill him before he gets a juggernaut. Like that is there's nothing wrong with that. I never understood why they took deaths off the scoreboard. Next thing is user interface. User interface is a crucial component to accessibility and general player experience. While the what's hot playlist overlay is accompanied by beautiful mode specific render images, may feel it hinders accessibility to standard matchmaking menu. Consider making it accessible via button press like Modern Warfare Cold War Vanguard and landing players in the matchmaking menu from the start. I feel like user interface is more of a personal thing. If that's what you want, then I feel like you should be able to do that with the press of a button, but not many people really would care about that. A lot of people are just trying to get into the game and they're trying to go play. So that is something that is just player to player, and I feel like that should be a setting that you can turn on and off. Just like in Modern Warfare 2019, there was a thing that you can do, so every time you loaded up the game, you didn't get the starting menu or the Modern Warfare symbol, and it just puts you right into the lobby. I feel like that should be something that you should be able to do with the user interface as well. The next thing we have is Strafe Speed. Strafe Speed across all available weapons is slower than previous titles, allowing players to maneuver quickly natural, while ADS would increase the skill gap and provide an edge against pre-aiming opponents. At the very least, a stalker equivalent perk should be added to a base perk pool to offer player agency over mobility whilst aiming. Strafe Speed should always be faster among SMGs and ARs. I never really cared if my AR had a strafe speed, but if the strafe speed is an issue, I feel like adding a stock, if not a perk, should be allowed to make your strafe speed faster. So if I take my stock off, or if I do have a stock that does increase my strafe speed, I should be able to notice the difference in my strafe speed. If the strafe speed is too slow, it can make camping overpowered. Basically, a lot of the things that we read on this thing, camping is overpowered, and they said they wanted to give options to the people who camp and people who rush. So I feel like a lot of these things, if you change them, the campers can still camp and the rushers can still rush. Right now, if you are a rusher, you are at a disadvantage in Modern Warfare 2, and strafe speed is one of those things that is putting you at a disadvantage, and it should definitely be changed. Next thing is map voting, something that I heavily think should always be in Call of Duty, because why not? Map voting was a staple feature in early titles, building on the point of reinstating perpetual lobbies and social ecosystems. Allowing players to choose from a selection of maps in the lobby would serve to minimize redundancy and cater to individual/layered interests on where to fight next. That is completely true. There has been times where we've played Modern Warfare 2019 and we've gotten maps that we don't like. Piccadilly, Azure Cave, and all we do is leave. At this point in the game, we don't stay to play those maps anymore. We just leave the lobby. So why not give us a chance to actually play in the lobby that we get and just be like, you know what, let's give them 2 maps and let everybody on the map vote for them. Now, if the maps so happen to be 2 maps that we don't like to play, then we're probably going to leave anyway as well, but at least give us the choice to be able to pick where we want to fight next. Why were we able to do this in 2009 and 2010, but a lot of these things now that we can't do in 2022? I don't understand it. It's like we take 10 steps forward with graphics, gun sounds, all of that stuff, and then we take 18 steps back with the basic things that we've always liked about COD and we've never complained about. I've never heard anybody complain about map voting. Why was that taken out? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And the last thing on the list is Last Stand. Why in the world is Last Stand in this game? We got rid of death streaks a long time ago. Why are we bringing them back in 2022? Last Stand is regarded as useless by some and an unfair advantage to others. Unlike his MW2 in 2009 counterpart, Players are unable to use a sidearm while downed. However, they can self-revive. In most close-range engagements, players using survival will likely be finished off before reviving. At a distance or behind cover, they may be able to execute a revive and kill or flee from their opposer. This can be especially frustrating for snipers in a long-scale mode like ground war. The general consensus is that while not inherently overpowered, Survivor can be replaced with another ultimate perk that is both more practical and rewarding. We don't need Last Stand. If I snipe somebody on ground war or on one of the big maps and they get up and I don't get that kill, I'm going to be frustrated, because not only can you use it once, but I'm pretty sure you can use it twice. You may be able to have unlimited uses on it, which is ridiculous. I saw somebody get down by Last Stand. They self-revived, they got shot again, and they were able to self-revive again 2 seconds later. This Reddit post was actually very well thought out. It was very well spoken, and the link to this will be down in the description. Like I said, was really, really good, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed reading this a lot. Pretty much all of the points I really did get and I did agree with. If you guys do have anything to add down in the comment section below, let me know oh my gosh, let me know your guys' thoughts. Very, very good Reddit post again. I can't wait to see what Infinity Ward and Activision does with this information that we've provided. I really do hope that they listen to us and they're just like, you know what, let's just kind of, you know, we need this game to be good. It's your boy Robin. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for sitting here and listening to me ramble on and read this Reddit post. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Peace.